Welcome to the introduction of urban sketching. Urban sketching is a lot of fun. It's actually having a sketchbook handy and a pen and ink or pen and watercolor paint, and have a sketchbook in which you note your memories of a certain place. That's how I would see it. Hi, my name is Jacobina Ulla and I'm an online teacher. Art teacher. I received my education at the Royal Academy of Fine Arts in The Hague, where I also became a professor. The technology these days allows us to follow each other wherever we are in the world, which makes it really awesome. You can travel and start urban sketching, and you might have some questions for me. How do I get the perspective of a certain building, or what did I do wrong with my painting or drawing? And then we can communicate through Zoom. I like this a lot. I travel a lot. I was born in the Netherlands and I go back there, and I love to sit on the street and draw street scenes. If you want to incorporate people, you have to learn to draw people. And what we're doing in this series, it's an ongoing series, it's a coaching series. I send videos on a regular basis, and you show me pictures of your drawings through email, and then we do a screen share and we talk about your drawings in a group session or one-on-one. It depends if you have specific problems or not, or questions, not problems. I think it's a very cool way of learning and improving, because there's always room for improvement. You can always do better. So let's look at it. Let's look at a little demo, how we're going to tackle the fun and also the difficulties of being really outdoors and drawing whatever we see in our sketchbook. Let's have a look. You were asking what the size of the sketchbook is. It doesn't matter that much, but it has to be portable. The small sketchbook that you see here is 9 by 6. And I have many different sizes though. The bigger ones, like you see here, I use mostly on a closed location, not that I'm going to walk in the fields. And as you can see, I love to draw plants. Now that's not the same for everybody. Some people like to draw buildings, some people like to draw people. I just love to draw plants. But pick whatever you want to do, because you're going to sit there for quite a while. This is a well-known artist from the Sarasota area, Craig Rubidoux, and he always has a sketchbook with him because he likes to draw people. Now we're going to practice on this chair, and I'm going to tell you a little bit what I want you to look at. This is a watercolor pencil, but I'm going to use the Palomino, the very soft pencil. And I start very light. I have a little table easel, and I'm just doing whatever I think is there. It's not in proportion at all. I'm not using a viewfinder. I am just getting my bearings. It's not a round chair. It has rectangles, two rectangulars, and there has a little bit of perspective in it. I can kind of eyeball the distance between the armrests, and I know that they're parallel. Now I can also see where they're going to hit each other or how they're going to overlap. I'm not measuring yet anything. We will measure later, But this is just to see where the negative shapes are going to be and how you can kind of predict where one shape is going to cross the other. Here I am measuring because I want to know for sure that the two armrests have the same length. Because if it's a lot of perspective, then the armrest in the back will be smaller. Because it fades away into the distance. So very slowly I'm going to just jot down everything that I think is there. It's not in the right place yet. It does not have the right proportions yet. So I'm not going to press hard on the pencil at all. Once I have the biggest shapes down, I'm going to verify. I'm going to verify where everything is. And I'm going to see where the negative shapes are. And the negative shapes, for me, are the most important ones. Because they are telling me if I'm on it or if I'm wrong. And negative shapes are, you can look at in the distance. For example, I see a door in the distance, and you can use that as a negative shape. I hope you do understand the concept of negative shapes. If not, please ask me. Because, for example, for a chair and also for the table, we're going to use it a lot. I use it a lot when I go urban sketching, when I go outside. Even the distance between two trees and the horizon, for example, to know where that is, how big that is, what kind of shape that is, can make or break my drawing. So to learn that is super important. You don't have a chair like this. I guess you don't. It would be very rare if that would be the case. But build it up a little bit like I'm doing now. Now I'm incorporating the doorpost because I want to see what the glass in the door, what kind of shape it creates with the armrest. And it's very clear to see. And that is going to be my most important negative shape. Again, there's lines that are parallel. That's just logic. Follow the lines, adjust, course correct, and mark it also with a little bit hatching, cross hatching, so you don't get lost. It's easy to get lost and you don't know where you are anymore within the drawing because there's too many lines. So please do that and build it slowly, slowly, slowly. This is before we're going to put the outline down, which if you use the viewfinder, you start with that and you already have your outline and then you copy it exactly on the paper. But if you don't need to, you can build it like this. Take the background into consideration at all time. The background and also the shadows. Now, if these are strong shadows from the sun, for example, don't count on those because those will move very fast. This is from a northern light. It's a door with glass in it, but it's northern light. And that's why northern light is important for artists because it doesn't change. There's no direct sunlight. It is truly unchanging light source. So that's where I'm sitting in front of, and I know that shadow or the reflection on the floor is not going to change. So you can use the sun, but not direct sunlight because it will move too fast and you will keep moving your drawing constantly. That's a hard part when you work outside because the shadows can be very, very dominant. These are the negative shapes I have drawn, and they need to be correct. Or in other words, if they're not, this is the time to correct whatever I have down. The little square on the left side, and then there's the doorpost, and then there's the jamb of the door itself. But there's more negative shapes, and they all need to be in order. And then we're going to outline. This is not a negative shape, it's actually the backboard of the chair, but you can use it. This definitely is a negative shape. There's some books behind it. I drew the books on the table to just see if I'm correct in my proportions. And on the floor, you see the reflection of the door. It has a soft edge, but there's also a negative shape underneath the seating that I'm going to darken right now that also needs to be in proportion. Do this exercise if you get really lost, or if you are at this stage and you say, well, I want to check my measurements if I'm really on the right side. You can do it like this. Grab your pencil, mark it with your thumbnail, and that's a certain distance. You hold it like that, and you measure it now on, this is the sidebar of a chair, but you can measure it also on a leg, or you can even measure it on a door that's behind it. And that is how you can get the same proportions in order. So the leg and the sidebar are actually the same in this case, but that's not necessarily so. But that's how you can measure it. Now lock your elbow when you do it. So draw another chair.